Welcome to Core of Space. Let's start. Out here, in the darkest corners of space, there is no sound. No wind. No breath. Just silence, ancient, eternal, infinite. What is silence in space? In space, silence is not just the absence of noise, it's the absence of air. Sound needs something to travel through, molecules, vibrations, pressure. But in the vacuum between stars, there is nothing. A single atom might drift alone for kilometers before meeting another. And so, even if a star explodes, its scream can never be heard. The chilling beauty. And yet, this silence is beautiful. There's something haunting in how quiet the universe is, as if the cosmos itself is holding its breath. We float among giants, stars millions of times the size of our sun, galaxies with hundreds of billions of stars, and still, all you hear is nothing. Deep and cold. Human presence versus cosmic silence. An astronaut floating alone, tethered to the International Space Station. No movement but the slow spin of Earth. For the few humans who have ventured beyond our world, space is more than a place. It's an experience. They speak of a silence so deep, it changes you. A silence where your own heartbeat is the loudest sound. In that silence, you feel small. You feel exposed. And yet, you feel alive. The terrifying side of silence. But not all silence is peaceful. In space, silence is also death. A hole in a spacecraft, a failed oxygen tank, a missing signal, means the end. No cries for help. No alarms. Just stillness. Quiet, and final. What it teaches us. The Earth rising from the moon. Time-lapse of stars across a Martian sky. The silence of space reminds us of how fragile we are, and how precious our small, noisy world truly is. While the universe drifts in quiet vastness, Earth hums with life, with sound, with meaning. And in that contrast, we find perspective. Closing and reflection. Fade back to the starfield. A single star twinkles in the void. The infinite silence of space is not empty, it's full of wonder, mystery, and truth. If you listen closely, you'll hear everything. A frozen, lonely death. Fade in from black. A single astronaut drifting slowly through open space. Their suit glints in the sunlight. No movement. No noise. In the vast emptiness of space, death doesn't come in a blaze of fire. It comes in silence. In cold. The environment of deep space. Space is not just cold. It is the coldest place imaginable. In the void between stars, the temperature drops to near absolute zero, minus 270 degrees Celsius. Here, there is no air to breathe. No sound to hear. No warmth to feel. Just endless blackness, and the slow fading of life. Faint heartbeat. Distant, subtle breathing. Low hum fades to silence. What happens to the human body in space? Without a suit, a human would survive for barely 15 seconds. Blood begins to boil. The lungs collapse. Water in your eyes and skin evaporates. It's not an explosion, it's a silent shutdown. Even with a suit, once your oxygen runs out, it's over. You don't suffocate instantly. First, you lose consciousness. Then, your body cools. Drifting. Frozen. The loneliness of dying alone in space. There is no one to call for help. No footsteps, no echo. Just your thoughts, slowing. Your breath, fading. Astronauts have trained for everything, except the feeling of dying alone, millions of kilometers from home. Real-life close calls. This isn't science fiction. In 1971, the Soyuz 11 crew died silently as their capsule depressurized during re-entry. In 1983, a Soviet cosmonaut's helmet began to fill with water. Many have come seconds away from a frozen death. But so far, no one has died drifting alone in deep space. Yet. The existential horror. What makes this death so terrifying is not just the cold. It's the loneliness. The silence. Knowing that you are utterly, eternally alone. No one will find your body. You won't become a grave. You'll become debris, frozen, drifting, part of the void. Part of the void. Final reflection. Fade to distant earth. Bright. Alive. Contrasted against the empty void. A frozen, lonely death in space is terrifying, but it reminds us of something powerful, that our fragile little world, full of noise and warmth, is the only one we have. Places of beauty and doom. The universe is filled with wonders, breathtaking sights that seem almost magical. But behind their beauty lies danger. Welcome to the most beautiful, and most deadly, places in space. Nebulae, cosmic cradles and radiation traps. Nebulae are the birthplaces of stars, massive clouds of gas and dust stretching across light years. They glow in brilliant colors as stars ignite within them. But don't let their beauty fool you. These regions are filled with high-energy radiation, deadly magnetic fields, and violent stellar winds. A human would last mere seconds in this environment. Black holes, silent monsters. Black holes, invisible beasts lurking in space. Some are as small as a city, others bigger than entire solar systems. They pull in everything, even light. As you approach, time slows. Tidal forces stretch your body. And once you cross the event horizon, nothing can escape. Not even your final scream. Supernovae. Beautiful explosions of death. When massive stars die, they go out in a blaze of cosmic fury. A supernova can shine brighter than an entire galaxy, for weeks. The explosion spreads heavy elements across the universe. The iron in your blood was made in one. But if you're nearby, the blast and radiation would vaporize everything. Beauty. Power. Destruction. Gas giants and frozen worlds. Even within our own solar system, beauty hides danger. Jupiter's storms rage for centuries. Neptune's winds blow faster than sound. Saturn's rings, stunning from afar, are icy shards moving at thousands of kilometers per hour. And beneath Europa's ice may lie an alien ocean, dark, cold, and unknown. Why we're drawn to them. Montage. Hubble telescope images, scientists watching launches, the James Webb Space Telescope unfolding. We're drawn to these places not just because they're beautiful, but because they remind us how small we are. How fragile life is. They are warnings, wrapped in wonder. Glimpses of power we cannot control, and mysteries we haven't solved. Space is not just a place of stars, it's a place of stories. Of beauty, and doom. And the more we explore, the more we understand what it means to be alive. Invisible killers. Black screen. Slowly fade into a peaceful starfield. A glowing nebula. Beautiful. Quiet. Space looks calm. Peaceful. But in the shadows of its silence, lurk killers. You can't see them. You can't hear them. But they're always there, waiting. Radiation, the silent destroyer. In space, radiation is the deadliest threat you can't see. High-energy particles from the sun, and from galaxies far away, constantly bombard everything beyond Earth's protective shield. These invisible bullets can pass through your body, ripping apart DNA, damaging cells, and silently rewriting your biology. Solar flares can fry electronics. Even short exposure is dangerous without shielding. Cosmic rays, space's sniper shots. Zoom through deep space at high speed. Show cosmic rays slamming into spacecraft shielding, passing through astronauts. Cosmic rays travel at nearly the speed of light, often from supernovae or black hole jets. One ray can slice through metal. Or the human brain. These are not science fiction. They're real. Detected on Earth's surface, in flight, and inside the International Space Station. One hit, one mutation, and the damage may not appear for years. Gamma-ray bursts, the universe's flash bomb. Imagine a single flash that releases more energy in seconds than our sun will in its entire lifetime. Gamma-ray bursts are rare, but if one hit Earth directly, it could destroy our ozone layer, sterilizing life. Out in space, there's no protection. No warning. Just a silent blast, and then, nothing. Danger to astronauts and missions. Astronauts are the most vulnerable. One strong solar flare, and if they're outside the spacecraft, unprotected, they could receive a lethal dose in minutes. Mission planners track solar weather the way sailors once tracked storms. Because out here, the sun can kill. 1972, a massive solar storm occurred between Apollo missions. Would have been fatal if astronauts were on the moon. Earth's thin shield. We don't think about it, but Earth has a shield, our magnetic field. It protects us from most radiation. Without it, we would all be exposed. But as we go deeper into space, to the moon, to Mars, to beyond, that shield fades. And the invisible killers are waiting. A lone astronaut staring out at space from a spacecraft window. Quiet. Still. In space, not all threats roar. Some whisper. Some are silent. But they're always watching, always moving, and always deadly. The psychological terror of isolation. Opening scene. Darkness. A single astronaut drifts slowly in space, Earth a tiny dot in the distance. No sound. Space isn't just cold and dark. It's empty. Silent. Isolated. Out here, it's not the lack of oxygen that breaks you, it's the absence of everything else. The setup, alone in the void. Time-lapse of Earth getting smaller as a ship moves deeper into space. Interior of a spacecraft, silent, still. Imagine being millions of kilometers away from home. No sunlight through your window. No sound but your own breath. No faces, no voices. Astronauts describe space as beautiful, but also terrifying. The farther they go, the more the human mind begins to change. No trees, no sky, no weather. Only recycled air and artificial light. What isolation does to the mind. The human brain was not built for isolation. Over time, memory fades. Emotion dulls. Sleep becomes difficult. Hallucinations are not uncommon. NASA has studied this. The longer you're isolated, the harder it becomes to tell what's real, and what's just the mind trying to survive. Scientific notes. ISS astronauts often report anxiety, depression. Mars simulations on Earth reveal rising conflict after months of isolation. Time warps and communication delays. On Earth, a call takes seconds. But in space, a message can take 20 minutes, one way. You speak, and hear nothing back for almost an hour. Over time, it changes how you feel about connection. You stop expecting replies. You stop reaching out. Faint static, delay in voice replies, then silence. When the silence starts talking back. In long-term missions, especially when you're completely alone, your mind begins to fill the silence. You hear things that aren't there. You see movement in corners that should be empty. Your thoughts spiral. Day 108. I thought I heard someone walking outside the hull. Day 133. I started talking to the ship. I think, it answered. Earth becomes a dream. After weeks or months in isolation, Earth becomes a memory, not a home. You stop dreaming in color. You stop thinking in conversations. And when you return, if you return, the world feels unfamiliar. Too loud. Too alive. Sound design. Low, hollow music. Distant thunder or rain to symbolize Earth. Closing reflection. The psychological terror of space is not death. It's being forgotten. It's forgetting yourself. Wonder in the dark. Black screen. Then slowly, a faint star appears. The camera pans through deep space as galaxies drift by. When we look into the night sky, we see darkness. Endless, quiet, cold. But beyond that darkness, lies wonder. A universe so vast and strange, it humbles everything we know. The silence that speaks. Wide shots of star fields, nebulae glowing faintly, deep cosmic voids. Space isn't empty. It's full of galaxies, light, time, and secrets. It speaks not through sound, but through motion, color, and gravity. In the dark, we see the earliest light. Light from stars born billions of years ago, still reaching us, long after they died. Fact pop-ups, optional visual elements. Light from the Andromeda galaxy takes 2.5 million years to reach Earth. Every star you see at night is part of just our galaxy, the Milky Way. Beauty hidden in the void. There are places in space where stars are born in clouds of glowing gas. Where storms rage for centuries. Where entire planets vanish in shadow. And yet, it's beautiful. Painted across nothingness, these structures stretch light years across, silent, distant, unreachable, and mesmerizing. What we've discovered in the dark. We once feared the dark. Now, we explore it. And with each new discovery, we learn that the unknown is not something to fear, but to follow. We've found planets with 2 suns. Oceans beneath icy moons. Signs of ancient galaxies that formed when the universe was still a baby. In the darkness, we found the edge of time itself. What it teaches us about ourselves. From out there, Earth is just a speck, a fragile world suspended in a sunbeam. The darkness reminds us how rare and precious life really is. The silence of space gives meaning to the noise of Earth, to every voice, every life, every moment. In the dark, we don't just find stars. We find perspective. The human spirit among the stars. We are creatures of light, born on a tiny world. But we dream far beyond it. We build telescopes that see galaxies. We launch probes into eternity. In the dark, our questions grow louder. And with every answer we find, we ask 100 more. The horror of deep space is real, but so is the beauty. In the dark, we find perspective. In the silence, we hear meaning. If the cosmos inspires you, stay curious. Like, share, and subscribe to Core of Space. Our journey is just beginning.